All right, so if you look at your first warm-up problem, this is what a graph of the very first one looks like. So can you guys tell me what the excluded values are for that first warm-up problem? X cannot equal -4, x cannot equal -2. And one of those excluded values, the one at -2, was actually because of a vertical asymptote. And the other one, x cannot equal -4, was actually talking about a hole. So if you look at -4, there's a hole right here on the graph. So on your notes, well, not on your notes, but on your warm-up, we're going to go ahead and find the domain of this picture. So we know that when we write our domain, we have to skip two values. We have to skip -4 and we have to skip -2 because those are the x values that we're not allowed to use, but every other x value is fine. So what is the x value right here on the graph? -infinity. So -infinity works, -18, -16, -14, -12, -10, -8, -6. And then what happens when we get here to -4? Does -4 work? No. So for our domain, we're going to say that the numbers from -infinity to -4, anything in between here works. It just doesn't work once we get to 4. Does that make sense? We skipped that one. So are you all writing it down? You got it written down? Okay. And then we have another section of the graph to look at, so I'm going to put a U there. And then here, -4 doesn't work, but -3, -2.8, -2.6, all these negative, any number between -2 and -4 works. And then what happens when I get to that dotted line at -2? Can I have -2 exactly? Nope. So I'm going to say I've got from -4 to -2. And then if I look at the other curve over here, I've got all these x values. So -2 doesn't work, but maybe like -1.8 is good, -1.5 is good, 0 is good, +2 is good, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20 is good, 400 is good. So what should my last section say for my domain? Yeah, -2 to infinity. So this notation here means I can have all the numbers that are smaller than -4, those work. I can have all the numbers that are between -4 and 2, and I can have all the numbers that are bigger than -2, but I have to skip -4 and I have to skip -2. Does that make sense for domain? We're skipping -4, we're skipping -2. So those are the numbers that show up. Okay, look at your second warm-up problem. What are the excluded values on this one? So x cannot equal +5, and x cannot equal -3. So +5 we can't have because it happens to be a hole on the graph. -3 we can't have because it's a vertical asymptote. So if we look at our graph, what is the x value right here? -infinity. So -infinity is okay, -10, -9, -8, -7, -6, -5, -4 is okay. And then what happens when we get to -3? There's a asymptote, right? So we can't have it. So how do I write that first section of x values that are okay? Okay, so -infinity to -3. Then I can't have that, and then I've got all these x values, so anything that's a little bit bigger than -3, and I've got -2 and -1 and 0 and 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I get to 5 and I have a problem. So how do I write this section between here, these x values? So -3 to 5. And then 6 is okay, 7 is okay, 8 is okay, 9, 10, anything bigger than that. So how do I write this last section? 5 to infinity. So when I write it like this, what does that mean? What are the things, what does this tell us? If you look at someone's paper and it says this, what does that mean to you when you see this written? Yeah, so what numbers do we have to skip? Skip -3? And skip 5. Okay. So, yeah. How come this one is negative 3? So we're saying we basically broke our paper up into 3 sections. I said, here's my first section. So it was the left arrow to the dotted line. So I say this is from negative infinity to negative 3. That's my first section of x values that I can have. And then my next section is from the asymptote to the whole. And those are x values that work. So this is from negative 3 to 5 is this one. And then my last section will be from 5 to positive infinity. So you got the negative 3 from the asymptote. Exactly. Yep. All right. Now, do we have to have a picture? If we look at this, could I have written the domain just from having these excluded values? Yeah, you don't really need the picture, right? It can be a little bit confusing. So what I want you to try next is I want to see if you can find the domain if all I give you is an excluded value or 2. So you're gonna try this, and it can be just underneath warm-up problem number 3. So if I said the excluded values was x cannot equal negative 7 and x cannot equal 9, go ahead and see if you can write the domain for that. X cannot equal negative 7, x cannot equal 9. Okay, does somebody want to tell me the first set of parentheses? Yeah. Okay, negative infinity to negative 7. So Colin is saying all the numbers that are smaller than negative 7 should work. I agree with that. All right, what's the next answer? I agree with the negative 7. To positive 9. So we're going to say all the numbers that are smaller than negative 7 should work. All the numbers between negative 7 and 9 should also work. And then what other numbers should work? All the numbers that are bigger than 9. Okay? All right, we're going to try another one. On this one, we're going to see if you guys can do it with 3 excluded values. So we're going to say our excluded values are x cannot equal negative 6, x cannot equal 1, and x cannot equal 4. X cannot equal negative 6, or 1, or 4. Someone want to volunteer their first part of the answer? Erica, what did you get? Okay, so we've got all the numbers that are smaller than negative 6. That's perfect. What about the next set of parentheses? Okay, so negative 6 to positive 1. What does this mean? All the numbers between negative 6 and 1 work. Okay. What's the next one?
1 to 4.
1 to 4. What does that mean?
4.
All the numbers that are between 1 and 4 will work. And then 4 to infinity. What does 4 to infinity mean? Yeah. And saying all the numbers between 4 and infinity is kind of weird, right? Because can you ever actually get to infinity? No. So we would phrase this, we would just say all the numbers bigger than 4 should work. Any number you can think of that's bigger than 4, it would work. Okay. 7 would work. 27 million would work. Whew. All right. Here is the next one, right? This is number 3. So I want you to find the domain for this warm-up problem. You can use the graph if you would like, or you can do it just based off the excluded values. So what did you guys get for your domain?
Negative 3.
Oh, you couldn't even see it. So negative infinity to negative 3, negative 3 to 1, and then 1 to infinity. And the reason that is because we have an excluded value at negative 3 and an excluded value at positive 1, right? Okay. I'm going to give you guys one more to try. And we're going to see if we can get this one. Okay, so here are your excluded values. X cannot equal 2. X cannot equal negative 1.
she put it in different order.
X cannot equal 5. Shh. Don't point it out. All right, what did you guys get for the first answer? Okay, so any number smaller than -1 works. What's the next answer? What's the next answer? And then what's the last section? 5 to infinity. So when you write your domain, what do you have to make sure is true about these numbers? They have to be in order from smallest to biggest for it to make sense. Okay. All right. At this point, you should be good enough at domain to go back and fix your packet, right?
So